I I'm out. I think I made it out. But I'm not safe. No, not really. What I found in that desert, what came back with me, it's not some story of discovery. This is a warning. Some places, they have secrets and they guard them. They don't want to be found. I learned that the hard way. The real question isn't about what I found out there, it's about what found me. It all started the moment I left that place, that incredible silence. I actually thought it was peaceful. Man, was I wrong. It was just the calm before the storm. The terror was in the escape. I just ran. I didn't dare look back. The absolute, crushing silence of that city was finally broken, but not by some ancient roar. No, it was broken by the sound of my own heart hammering in my chest, the sound of my own panicked breaths. That was the only sound in the entire valley. Just me. That eye of the desert I was searching for, it was never a treasure. It was bait, a lure sitting in a trap of stone and sand. And this trap, this city, it felt alive in its own horrible way, like a hunger that had been sleeping for centuries, just waiting for a fool like me to stumble in. As I scrambled over the last dune, just desperate to get away, I felt it. It wasn't just exhaustion. This was different. It was a deep, invasive cold, and it was starting in the hand that had touched the temple door. A stiffness that felt so unnatural, spreading up my arm like some kind of creeping ice. I finally made it back to my Jeep. That engine roaring to life was maybe the best sound I've ever heard. But when I looked down, when I saw what was happening to my hand, the terror came rushing back. Only this time, it was a quiet, creeping kind of horror. My hand, the skin on my fingers, it was turning gray. It was cracked, hard, and cold to the touch. It looked like granite. The curse hadn't taken me completely, not yet, but it had left its mark, a permanent piece of that place that I can never get rid of. I've been back for days. I've seen doctors, and they've got their theories. A rare form of necrosis, they say, maybe from the heat, maybe some unknown bacteria. They have their scientific explanations. But they weren't there. They didn't feel the silence. I know what this is. This isn't a disease. It's an artifact. Back in my apartment, I was frantically trying to look at my camera footage. I thought, if I can just show people what I saw, maybe someone could explain it. But the files, they were corrupted. And in that digital chaos, a far more terrifying truth started to emerge. What if the camera was a better witness than I was? When I finally managed to stabilize a few frames, I saw it. In the glitches, in the digital noise, the statues weren't just stone. Deep in the shadows, their eyes, they shifted. It was barely there, just a flicker in the distorted data. But it was there. They weren't monuments. They were sentinels. They were watching me the entire time. I was never alone. Looking at that footage, at the proof that I was being hunted by something ancient, something strange happened. The fear began to fade, and it was replaced by something else. An understanding. I turned away from the screen, from the digital ghosts in the footage, and I just looked out my window at the normal modern world. And that's when it hit me. The feeling of being cursed was replaced by the weight of a lesson. I wasn't being hunted anymore. I had escaped a prison. And the terror finally gave way to a kind of grim wisdom. The first thing I did after this realization was destroy every trace of that place. The map, the GPS data, my notes, all of it. Gone. The City of the Silent is not a discovery to be shared on a blog or in a documentary. It is a tomb, and it must remain sealed. So what did I truly bring back from that valley of stone? Not treasure, not fame. Just this scar on my hand, and a lesson. A lesson taught by the silence itself. This is the core of it all. We live in an age that celebrates endless curiosity. We believe every mystery must be solved, every corner of the world mapped and cataloged. But that city taught me that curiosity, when it isn't paired with a deep respect for the unknown, is just arrogance, and it's incredibly dangerous. And it made me realize, I don't think the people of that city were turned to stone by some monster. I think they did it to themselves. Their greed, their desire to possess a power that belonged to the earth itself, that was their downfall. Which leads to the ultimate truth I learned out there. Real wisdom isn't about having all the answers. It's about knowing which doors must remain unopened. This is the best way I can put it. We treat the past like it's a theme park, something for our entertainment and study. We dig it up, put it in museums, but we forget that the past has weight. It has power. It's a sleeping giant. You can poke and prod all you want, but you have to be prepared for the consequences when that giant finally opens its eyes. Sometimes, the most respectful and the wisest thing you can do is simply let it sleep. I went into the desert seeking a physical treasure, the fabled eye of the desert. But I came back understanding what the real treasure is. It's the breath in your lungs, the warmth of your own skin, the simple, profound act of being alive. That's the treasure worth protecting. So that's my story, my warning. It leaves me with one final question for you. Do you believe some places are cursed? Tell me what you think in the comments.